Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation, the topic of decalcifying the pineal gland, part 3. I thought of more things that I touched on a little bit, but really should be elaborated. And this is such a weighty topic. This is going on for a while now. The idea of darkness, and I did talk about this. I just wanted to touch on it again because it is so important when you go to bed to be able to have, in our modern times, there's so much electricity, there's so many things, so much light. If you have to get blackout curtains, you know, if you want to wear like a little face mask or something, just so that you have darkness. When you go through that process, up until the modern age of light bulbs and all that, and when people went to bed predominantly when it was dark, and they got up when it was in the morning and the light came up, you went through a proper sleep cycle. And you made proper amounts of melatonin. You get higher DMT states when you're going through REM sleep at night, and those are not quite as possible when you don't have a dark state to go into, because the pineal gland is, for all intents and purpose, an eye without an iris. It is very sensitive to light, and the light coming through your eyes really does stimulate it, and you'll constantly be not in a full dream state and not go into full delta theta states, into healing states, into astral states, into the ability to go get more information and to have different experiences in this multidimensional construct of creation and bring back with you that will be relevant for you, that will unfold and more information to come through. So darkness is critical. Darkness, darkness, darkness. You need to have a conducive environment that is dark to be able to sleep in, and however you want to accomplish that is fine. Blackout curtains, I've done that before in the past, only because I can only see out of one eye, and the one eye is really sensitive, and I would always had a terrible time sleeping when the sun came up, and staying asleep and having a good sleep cycle until I found something that I could either black out the room, or I've worn face masks, which are kind of annoying to me personally. Sometimes I've done combinations of the two of them because I couldn't get it dark enough for my taste, and I feel much healthier and I do much better when I get into these darker states, when I can go. And the flip side of that is getting into the light. Now, a lot of people are saying, I don't wear sunglasses anymore, I get as much sunlight as I can, and I do some sun gazing. And I've noticed, oddly, in the last couple years, I haven't worn sunglasses, and I don't like them anymore. And it's not because they have a limiting field of vision for me. It really is, excuse me, it really is that I feel much more connected when I'm actually able to have more light come in. I actually feel more grounded, I feel better, I feel like I have more energy. Now, this idea of sun gazing is, you know, some people say, hey, you know, UV light, you're baking your eyeballs, you're going to have cataracts, etc. And other people say, you know, if you have a good balanced diet and you're eating raw and you have a lot of high in nutrients in your body, that you're not sitting and staring at the sun all day, it's not going to be that, you know, it's not going to be doing any damage. I would say, you know, gather your own opinion and what feels good to you. I would suggest, if you are going to do some, you know, it's the idea of a breatharian practice where you're actually staring at the sun, and you're the idea of bringing in light to your body to live off of light, and skipping the step of photosynthesis, going into plants or animals eating the plants and other animals, hence getting photosynthesis in that way, and holding that photosynthesis idea within their energetic structure, within the idea of the structure of the proteins and enzymes that are within the meat, or the plant structures, is that you're skipping that repository. And the repository would be plants and animals, for instance, ideally plants if you can, and skipping it and just taking in light directly and energizing your energetic body. Because the cellular process of breaking down all that food, you're extracting energy out of it to go and feed into ATP and all these other mechanisms into the body to give you energy and to give you support. So the idea of decalcifying the pineal gland as part of this whole process is getting more light, and then you're getting vitamin D, and there's other enzymatic processes can happen, and vitamin D binds with other things. And if you're getting some sea salts, your colloidal minerals are in there, so you're having balance in all the things that you're doing. So this is very critical to get sunlight every day, to go out and either take a walk or make an effort to get some sunlight, just as a really good practice. Now, if you like the idea of the breatharian type of idea and practice, and getting light and energy into your body, that does help the pineal gland. You're getting, light energy into your body. Now, I would suggest doing this in the very early morning when the sun comes up, when it's at a lower intensity, or you can do it at sunset. It is at a range that it is a lot more intense. And don't do it for long periods of time. Sit all day and stare at the sun. I don't imagine that's probably good for you. I'm not a doctor, I don't know. I'd say do what feels best to you and take the advice you feel is best for what you're doing. But for me personally, I've been doing that more. Not so much in the morning. I'm not a morning person, and I'm not one for coffee. I'm pretty much naturally kind of me. But I am a bear in the morning, so I love sunsets. I always have, and my photography, I do a lot of sunsets. So I generally like the energetic state toward the evening hours, and I'll go and get energy during the day as well. I'll take a walk or two during the course of the day, get out for 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes and take a walk and get some light. And I don't wear sunglasses. And I used to love wearing my sunglasses, and I lost the taste for it. And it was just an organic process. So those two things are really critical, getting darkness and blacking out everything for sleep, and getting light during the course of the day and energizing the body. And all these things that you're doing, if you are alkalizing the body and you're getting like lemon water and you're doing some detoxing, all these processes are organic and natural for the body, and you're in the natural evolution of the human body. You're a hunter-seeker. You would go and you'd run for like half a mile and stop and grab some berries and maybe get a small animal or whatever you were doing at the time. Maybe you were in Hawaii and, you're just picking pineapples and climbing up trees. But it was interval cardio. You're getting a little bit of exercise. You're getting a little bit of light. Then you rest and just kind of relax for a little while. And maybe listen to music or make love or whatever you're going to do during the course of the day. Hopefully lots of love during the day. So all these things are organic and natural, so you're really kind of returning to more of an organic and natural state where you're doing what feels good when it feels good to do it. And so if it feels good to go take a walk, take a walk. If you want to go and have a certain type of shake and you want to get an organic shake from Whole Foods or what have you, wherever you can get it in your local area for alkalinity, then so be it. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is kind of restoring your holistic nature and coming more back into alignment. That will, just as a lateral consequence, decalcify the pineal gland and even more the whole entire body. You're going to reinforce your cellular structure. You got to remember, it's just not the pineal gland that's access to the infinite and to who you really are. It is all your chakras. It is your body as a whole. It's your genetics. You're activating your genetics. Your genetics, all your DNA in your body, if it's activated, is longer than your neurological network in your brain. It's massive, and it is the ability to control which parallel reality you go and experience, and is a critical aspect of manifestation. Feed it all these colloidal minerals, all these elements, all these enzymes, all these amino acids that you can get when you're doing raw diets are synergistic with each other. They dock with different ports and they interact with different biochemical mechanisms and different glands, because there's more than just a pineal gland in your body, a thyroid and on down. So there's different things that are going on, very complex things going on in your body, and the more you feed those, the more as a whole being that you will be at a higher vibrational state. And that is really the goal of decalcifying the pineal gland. I think the end game, if there is such a thing, is to be at a higher vibrational state and have more access to the whole holistic being that you are. And if you're just focusing on the pineal gland, that might be short-sighted in that it's the whole body that really needs to be decalcified, and be mindful of pH and what goes into the body and what kind of detergents you use and how much sleep you get and the darkness of the sleep environment and what kind of rest you get, and you know what you are doing during the course of the day. If you're getting a little bit of exercise and taking a walk and getting some sunlight and those types of things are all going to be critical to this overall process of ascension, such as it is. I think that's everything I wanted to share. I think I finally got everything into these 3 videos that you can do. Well, it's not everything. There's still more things that can be done. I think there's a lot of things out there on light and sound that are fantastic that can be done to decalcify the pineal gland. There are some rife technologies. There's the technology from Dr. William Nelson called the SCIO. He worked for NASA in the 70s and 80s, and he developed technology that uses trivector rife frequencies to be able to probe and get an aspect of the body to find out what kind of energy the body needs, and he was able to feed the body what it needs, what kind of energy when it needs it. But these types of technologies, I think, are starting to be not necessarily obsolete, but as we become more of our true holistic selves and we activate more of our DNA and we have more access to ourselves, it's just going to naturally bring the body into alignment. And a lot of these things and energy technologies are useful, but you'll start to see that they'll be less needed. So I think that was everything that I wanted to share. I hope that's very helpful. If you have any questions or whatnot, send me. You know, there's different ways to send that. You can send that through Facebook. You can send that through the YouTube message. Like the video. You can make comments. I'm happy to answer comments or any questions. Like other resources or where to get, like, you know, the green soap, or you know, where to buy toothpaste and which ones I like, any of that. You know, I'm more than happy to answer any of that type of stuff. Anything that I could do to be of assistance and be of service. Thank you very much. Love and light, and have a fantastic day.